Back to Gazelle. Thank you so much, Steph. Another hot mic moment. Yo! What's good, everybody? It is Feedback Friday. Have you all had a chance to become properly hypnotized? Yo, Visor, how are you? I'm doing all right. How are you? Saf, you are first, and thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate you. Big love, homie. Good seeing you yesterday. 28 months. That's like a minute and a half. Bing Bong McGee! One of the best handles on Twitch. How are you? Kakashi's back. Oh, snap, indeed. 2 in a row. Does this mean you're back? You're back? It's good to have you in the mix, homie. Saf, it's quite all right if you don't have something for Feedback Friday this week. I mean, we'll miss having you in the mix. But you're still here. Quirky is here. Yo, what up, Quirky? How are you, man? Visor, what have you been cooking this week? Curious. Paul, welcome in. Happy Friday to you. What's the weather like today over there, Paul? It's kind of weird without the weather greeting. It's wet and gray and winter here. Nothing new to report. Martin, how you doing? Oh yeah, how was the thing, Paul? Central 1. What's shaking, brother? 1000% hypnotized. This is good. This is good. You have amazing news. So, Martin, I'm scrolling. Got UMG Germany interested in a song. Nice. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. Visor says, been working on this track called Milkman. It starts as an inside joke among few friends, but now we're making it a serious track. You gotta love it when stuff like that happens. It's got a story behind it. It's got some energy. People are invested. Love that stuff. Love that stuff. Sorry, I'm just kind of flipping through the mental Rolodex of inside joke moments with music over the years, and isn't that just one of the best things, like, that you get to share with the people that you're making music with, is like the funny little anecdotes and side stories that nobody else ever hears about, but each time this thing comes up, you just about fall out of your seat laughing. Yeah. Hey, Mark, dude, you are on a freaking roll right now. Big ups, homie. That is awesome. Big Bong McGee says, I stumbled upon the Delay Llama memes the other day. The plugin is amazing. Yeah, you'd be going places for sure. We should get you on the show and talk through some stuff if you're up for it. I want to put the new Twitch guest thing through the paces. I would love to see no need for third-party video conferencing apps in our Twitch streams. That would be so nice. That would be so nice. Ooh, nice. Tremtice is here. How you doing, Trem? Big love, homie. Things okay over there? Blackberry. Blackberry wants to know, is it an ode to Reed Fleming, the world's toughest milkman? Underground comics from the 1980s. Wow. Javar's still got Delay Llama. Shoot, I might have to go and download it again, actually. Ooh, having Milkman is like a creepy component of a song. That's great. That's great. Wow. Yeah, back in the day, right? Drama llama D llama. Digital dust, right? I mean, sometimes digital dust sounds fantastic, so don't dust it off when you plug it in and see what happens. To the Discord, it is Feedback Friday. Feedback Friday. That's where we get to hear all the good stuff. Oh man, okay, this is all just spoiler alert here. I need to get past this and scroll up. So Kakashi kicked his track in early. So we're going to start with him. So he posted it yesterday, or Wednesday? The days are all blurred together this week. It is mad dash. It is mad dash time right now. Outside of the streams, I'm like... Brrr. So we're going to start off with him. If we see Rich Major, Jolson Joe, Grim, Zirconium, and Plate. Got to play these guys. So be on alert. Help me keep an eye out for these guys. Plate, Zirconium, Grim, Jolson Joe, Rich Major. Oh, the chat this morning. It must be Friday. Got Camel Crusher the other day and love it. Bing bong. Key. Dude, memory lane time. All right, I'm gonna hit stop on this in the background here. That was a fun one. For those keeping track, that was a Euclidean Melodies. Just run through some Portal and Molecular and some filter action, and then some reverb. And the second one was, I forget. It was some noise. It was very simple. Oh, it was little bleeps and bloops. Called Kontakt the Mothership. Running through a couple of different delays. So anyway. Camel Crusher is love. Camel Crusher is life. Oh, hail Camel. Oh, hail Camel. This makes me think of Montagia. Montagia. All right, here we are. Praise to the camel. Respect the gazelle. Is there anything else we need to pay homage to before we get started today? Oh, squirrel. Like we should probably acknowledge the squirrel. You're in the market for some sample packs, huh? What kind of sample packs? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. These tools are just as relevant. Always. Okay. All right, here we go. We're going to kick this off with Kakashi here. Foxman, the Discord. I've got my stuff all good over here. Anything that's not overprocessed, huh? Yeah, but are you looking for something tonal, atonal, texture, fully, ARPs? And it's samples, not synths. So we'll keep this conversation going throughout the chat. Martin's looking for some sample packs. It's not sure. What's up? How you doing? All right, so Foxman's saying, went for something more raw. So much more, so much for Melodyne. Excited to hear what others think. Have a friend dealing with an emotionally abusive relationship. Brought me back to when I went through my own. So this one's for anyone feeling those pains. Much love. This one's called Trauma Bound. It's from Foxy. Paul's Beats, welcome in. Happy Friday.
Came crashing down. I saw you there in the mushroom cloud. Such a shame it's come to this. Well, I know what I know when I feel like this. So wear your heart upon my wrist. Well, I know what I know when I feel like this. Oh, such a shame it's come to this. If this is it, before it breaks, it's best you know it's all the same. And if you go, we'll sail away. It's all the same. It's all the same. Go find a home. I'll find my own. Can't take no more, no more, no more.
Oh, snap. My bad. I didn't realize that moving it for a second was going to kill it. That was very disruptive. I'm so sorry.
I'll be Well, I know what I know when I feel like this. Oh, such a shame it's come to this.
Man, this is good. eSmalls Beats, I see your comment. How do you drop a link? Hit the Discord and drop a link in the public feedback channel. Dude, this was great. Super raw. Really good to hear you again. Sorry for killing your mix. I didn't realize that dragging it off the screen to move, remove something was going to remove the sound. Man, I feel like I just went somewhere with you. You know what I mean? Like this was it resonates. There's so much raw emotion and passion and power running through this thing. Really good. Like the main thing here, I think, like to be added is saturation, like leaning into the kind of the volatility of it all, right? And like kind of giving it the overall aesthetic of the sound. Like your voice is great, but the like the drums and stuff, if they can have that kind of an edge to them, I think that's really the only thing I'm actually really seeking in this one. Like as it gets mixed down, definitely hope it all gets mixed down and taken to the end. This is a good one. I like it. Okay, so the swirling bed under everything, I think it'd be cool if there was a moment where things kind of got stripped away, and maybe it's the moment right before the screaming actually starts, right? So letting that moment just kind of hang and really register with people, kind of sink in a bit, and then blast them for the next few minutes. Dude, your voice sounds great in this. This sounds great. Bye bye, Melodyne. This is just so emotional. It's really, really good. So good. Sorry it got paused in the middle. Yeah, Martin says this song is traveling. Yeah, this is just really good. People are loving it. Oh man. I'm scrolling up through the chat, and uh, this is a unanimous thing. Rokusai, welcome in. How you doing, man? Happy Friday. Yeah, the telephone vocal could definitely use some distortion. I think really it's the one thing. It's the one thing, like if you were to look at each one of the components, it really is like about the distortion, I think. Using it in, small doses here and there and heavy doses here and there, and then making those things dynamic, not so set in stone, right? So not just like setting something to an ideal level and walking away for the rest of the track. It's more like it'd be great to hear those things kind of swell and surge as the emotion swells and surges, and just kind of giving that yeah, the rough around the edges definition. You know what I mean? Make everything stand just a bit more upright. So those vocals are going to be felt even more. You know what I mean? That's it. That's all there is. Um, it's good to see a conversation around these vocals too. Roscoe's here, and we haven't heard anything from you for a little bit. Kakashi, it's great. It's great. Um, oh, and really quick, let me just dip over here and. Huh, where are you? All right. So, back to this. Martin, I just sent you something. Ross is up next saying, I don't know what I made. Let's hear it. Mm. Um, well, the first thing that's technically wrong with it is that it's only 3 minutes and 6 seconds in length. So you should probably attend to that before you touch anything else in this one. Just make it longer, like an album. You could just drag it out in your arrangement window a little ways before you hit bounce when you go back and update that. Yeah, Martin's. I think yeah, like 2 hours. I mean, it'd be fair. It'd be fair, and I don't think it's really asking too much. Just keep taking us places, honestly. Like that was a lot of fun. I'm not sure that the subs need to go as low as they do. But this is like a really fun exploration of like feeling the bass. Um, Not to mention it's a really good bass. It's like a fun, sexy bass. Um, and it feels very organic throughout like the delivery of it, which is just great. The IDK album, right? 10 more songs and a deluxe edition. Hmm. Just this song 10 times, says Trim Ties. Oh man. Yeah, all of the bass notes still have power behind them. Absolutely. Trem Ties is saying the lead is in a weird space for me right now. Maybe boost the highs just a snitch. Some relation to OTT here. Hey, you know what? There's uh just lots and lots of love and reactions here in the chat on this one. Um I can stand really still. uh, Top secret information, Roku. The fuck? All right, up next, Reigns Phoenix. Roscoe, this is just great. It's just great. Like I actually want to hear more of this same kind of range in the bass too. Um, yeah, normally one of my first things that I would say would be like, roll, scoot that on up, scoot that on up. But this felt more like an exploration in like waveforms rolling through my body. So bringing out the probe. Oh man. You know, at one point in time, I could actually speak pretty darn clearly without moving my lips, like really even a little. That would have messed with you. Reigns Phoenix is saying AI music can distribute includes a new sound not available to Sound Raw, 60% more of the song downloaded from Sound Raw. For example, your vocals or new instrument. When hearing the modified song, it needs to clearly sound as a different song compared to the song downloaded from Sound Raw. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. I'm processing this. Hmm. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to go check out SoundDraw. Hmm. Yeah, Reigns, I was expecting a track, and now I'm like sitting here processing what I've just read about SoundDraw. There was a bunch of playing being done with one of the writing AIs, like the writing as in like copy, right? And just its response, like its coherent and seemingly intelligent response to prompts is so much better than it was just a couple of weeks ago. Um, like many, many essays before like a small mistake is found. Just wow. I don't know how many of you have been playing with those. I know the image ones are all bee's knees right now, which they're freaking amazing. Uh, but yowza, the writing is becoming freaking impeccable. All right, I'm gonna go check out SoundDraw. Thank you, Rains. Quirky is up next. Oh, Plate! Plate, you are here. I see Plate. Hold on a second. We're hitting pause. Quirky, hold on. We're rolling up. I think this happened to you last time, Quirky. Plate, is this one still... Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Plate, is this one still relevant? And I'm so sorry that we were not able to get to this last time around. But if this track is still one that you want feedback on, I am happy to do this one right now. I know, it's so cruel. Well, if Plate is around and able to respond. All right. Well, hey, we're gonna roll right back up to Plate here in just a minute if he pops in and says so. Quirky, let's roll. Quirky's saying, I'm so curious about this one. I think the snare is just meh. Kick is somehow weird too. Overall, it's supposed to be a hard vibe. Yeah, and by the way, the feedback from last week was really very helpful for the clarity, and it ended well. Cool, excellent. I know, right? Right? Just out of control today, Trem. Man. Aren't you like a mod or something? Can you shut me down? Or do I just have, like, freedom here? What is even going on? Hmm. All right. Dude, the plucks are super clear in this. You're definitely getting your clarity thing um wrangled. The mid highs and the ambience is a bit driven. In addition to the whole thing being a little over compressed, there's just some pressure all the way around. We're pushing those subs up a bit too much, and I think just in general it's limited. Um, the loudness through limiting is tough when you've got that much bass. Um, I think the biggest thing about the kick and the snare is that they're a bit of a deviation from your norm to begin with as a sound source, but they're also just more exposed. There's more of the total sound of each of them being heard at all times, and the vibe of the overall vibe of the track is still kind of calling for the highs to be tamed a bit. So I think that's part of what you're hearing. And the slap back from those is also quite bright. And I'm not sure that it really needs to be. Um, and there's definitely some EQ work that you can do on the bottom side of most of your sounds from the plucks lower, like everything lower in register than those plucks. I felt like everything could be tightened up a bit more on the low end. And when you do that, there's going to be less of that bloat, that kind of overall thickness that's being pushed a bit too much, which leads to that kind of pressure buildup effect. Um, So I think that those are the things about the mix. I love the ghost kick ducking at 150-ish, something like that, into that really super bouncy vibe at 215. I think that the frequencies and loudness are like your biggest challenges in this one. Um, so part of the frequency stuff is the EQ thing that I mentioned before. Part of it is that you're drifting off track with in key and scale. So go back and take a look at the notes that are being used and make sure that everything is in alignment, because then it's going to feel better. You're not going to have the you know, the kind of doubled reaction that you're having right now. One is because things aren't in sync tonally, and then the other is that some things aren't in sync with the overall aesthetic of the sound. I think that's the two things here. So some EQ work, a little off the top, a little off the bottom. Square up your composition, and this thing sounds better, I think. Rockhound is here. How are you? Baby Rage is here. How you doing? Happy Friday. Hey, Kwame. How you doing? Hope you're doing well over there, brother. Blackberry. Blackberry has magic ears, and we should always take notice. Might just be my sleepy head. This sounds like a little like the oscillating, pulsating textures are clashing a little with the tempo of the song, making certain things seem to disappear a little bit in the mix as the oscillation conflicts are so powerful they dominate the ears. Yeah, yeah. I think it's yeah. Like I was saying, frequency and theory. Yeah, everyone is here, right, Liv? It's Friday. Heidi's here. Welcome in, Heidi. Got to start the stream over. Heidi is now here. Hugs for everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Yeah, no, I think that BlackBerry does not arrive. I think that BlackBerry is summoned. I think that Roku might be as well. I think if someone thinks Rokusai, or someone thinks BlackBerry, that's all it takes. And then boom, you have like this wisdom in the chat. It's amazing. Quirky, you are welcome. You are welcome. I'm glad that it always vibes with you. Trem says, trust me, look up some theory, not too much, just get your major minor scales down. That's it. The rest will come naturally. Yep. Yeah, like as soon as you start to feel your footing with all of it, honestly, your ears do all of the driving, and you don't have to make any of it too technical. Just keep chasing the vibe. Yeah. Okay. So Central is saying it's actually quite interesting when it comes to science and the notes we choose. There's actually an objective reason why something sounds emotionally the way that it does. Absolutely, it does. Because it's all vibrations. It's all vibrations. They make us feel things for very specific reasons. Absolutely. 100%. Commander Rokusai says, I arrive when certain brain waves start to resonate and standing waves get created. It's like Christmas trees from a drone footage experience. Be careful what you think, because I might be beamed into existence when you are pooping. Pooping. Happy Friday, everyone. Up next is Scruffy Rico. Quirky. You're a legend. I want to know what your next level up is going to be. Scruffy Rico says, something I made today, so could not be more early days. All right, so this is just super fresh. Lunar. Scruffy Rico. Scruffy is cooking and napping. I already know that I'm gonna say stuff like, I really like this palette. Your synth sounds really great. Spent too much time with Roku. So I'm gonna go full screen on this one here. So we can enjoy his video. And I'll type on this other screen. Oh, Tremties. Oh man, this was a great track, and you guys are killing me in the chat today. This is awesome. Yeah, Rich, dude, There's not much to say about this one, except for it's freaking lovely as always. And now I just want to hear it mixed, and um, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I want to know what you're gonna. I wonder what. I have no idea what you're gonna do to spice this thing up. It's quite lovely. It's quite lovely. You're feeling it. You're feeling it. Martin says, "Make it go boom boom." Right? Right? It needs them loves. Luffs, folks. Luffs. Yeah, well, it wasn't really a day. It was probably something that was done like, well, I'm heating up the kettle for some tea, and I've got a couple of minutes to spare. Something like that. Um, Rockhound's got a boogie really quick, so we're gonna listen to this and say some words. This one's called Escape. Perry, take care. You are the man. Rockhound. Rugs, not drugs. Rugs, not drugs. Rug who deals in wholesale rugs. Central. Tremtai says you can't snort decibels. Depends on how pure they are. This is the drugs. In case you're wondering what kind of drugs we are discussing here in the chat. This right here, man, this kick and this bass together. Yeah, that's a drug. That's a drug. Yeah, that's some. Yeah, but you can mainline LUFS. That is actually true. They you don't actually have to like poke into any veins either. It just like goes right through you. It's amazing. It's amazing. Just kind of like wiggles your liver on the way out. Honestly, Rockhound, I feel like there's one thing in this mix that I would love, and that would be more definition to the low end experience by bringing some swells up at some very specific moments to really kind of bring this energy to like these fever pitch moments, and then back off of it when it's not being built up. You know what I mean? Like give more positive and negative balance to the low end instead of so much kind of omnipresence at a few different points. I feel like the second half of the song is just like this straight like non-stop ride. So it's really the first half of the mix that I felt the most strongly about the low end, because there's so much presence that's being derived from the low end in general in this track, right? So it has a massive impact on the way that the whole thing takes shape and how it's hitting us and all of that. So okay, so I'm gonna scroll up and read this really quick because I think you got a boogie. Love the kick, just love it. Love the little reversal push at the end of your loop there with the kick, and yeah, just the energy, like just the energy right from the onset. It starts and it doesn't really stop. It's just really, really well arranged. It's good stuff. At 114, when you've got the perks going there, it'd be great to get one more layer of just fully exposed sticks, like Tycho rims, maybe something like that, and bring a layer of this kind of raw, more primal, tribal kind of energy, because I think it would be amazing. I think it would be an amazing way to kind of crescendo that moment. 150, I already mentioned this, but a couple of boomy saturation swells there before 2 minutes would sound fantastic. And I think it would really work magic on how people are, like interfacing with this. At 219, here's a really good example of one of these spots where the low end can really be shaped to create a moment that otherwise wouldn't be there. You could come to basically a full stop at 219 for a couple of counts right after a massive swell, right? And then boom, right back into the groove, right on the one, and just never look back. Um, yeah, and it's the kind of definition of the low end's role in the arrangement that would let you do that, I think. Um, yeah, so many good moments like this. Like there's just so many good full mix moments in this thing. It's good. 440, I really, really appreciate. Like you spent a quite a long time with the modulation of that synth, and I love it. Very classic. It felt so good just to spend some time with that sound and just kind of explore what it could do. That was awesome. Yeah, so I don't want anything else to change in this mix, really. I think it's just the low end thing. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, Central, dude, tinnitus. Still getting you, huh? Yeah, the Lufts thing, man. You got to give yourself a little bit of grace there. Oh yeah. Tremtai says, I said it before, but as usual, this feels like the club. I don't even go to the club, but it's all there. That repetition that just entrances the listener, the swells, the time for the DJ, and the composition is just spot on. Yeah. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Rockhound, you've done it again. Music is the best drug. These are facts, Pfizer. We've actually studied this scientifically for many generations now. All right, where were we? We're right here. We're at Visor. All right. This one's called Visor and Zeph. Milkman. Let's do this. This started as an inside joke. Let's see where it goes. All right, so there's a few things about separation in this mix that I'd love to hear more of. Um, like for instance, to start with, quick cinematic transition to intro this whole thing. Maybe even like it's got a really hard edge to it, so maybe even like a screech and like a crash or explosion or something like that, and then into this. Um, at 15 seconds, like we want a little bit more, or I want a little bit more definition on the vocal sample. It's not really about the vocal sample, it's really more about everything else in the mix at that specific point in time. So part of this is going to be EQ work. At 25 seconds, the low end is a bit dominant. And again, this is mostly EQ work. It's a little bit of volume, but we can just roll up a little bit of the low end on a couple of those things. 40 seconds. Bringing the vocal just a bit more on top of the mix. Right now it feels kind of even, and part of that is the stereo position of a few different things. There is some competing volume with a couple of elements, but this next comment here, it's supposed to be like 104 or something like that. The stereo width of a few different things, it feels like things are either in the center or all the way out to the sides, with several different sounds in the mix. And I think if you were to fill up this space more holistically, and only leave one thing that's directly outside the ears, and like then there's these things, and then there's these things, and then there's your kick and your bass right here, right? There's a couple tiny little embellishments that maybe move, or they're kind of in these kind of in between spots or something. But then it's going to give you a bit more separation between the sounds, so you're going to hear them a bit more clearly. Instead of having a few things stacked up in the center and a few things stacked up here, you'll be able to kind of pick them out of the field. That's definitely one of the bigger ones. The other thing is compression on individual elements in the mix. For the most part, it's pretty good, but there are some moments that feel kind of tight and a little bit overdriven, like they could be relaxed just a little bit more. So there could be some more natural peaks and a little bit more natural low end point. In loudness, I mean. And if you look at your waveform, you can see that there's nothing that even bottoms out at the halfway point of your peaks. So find a couple of moments in your mix where things can kind of calm down just a little bit for some more dynamic flux, and then bake in just a little bit more dynamic range by relying on things like saturation instead of compression or limiting for loudness. And that should help you kind of get a little bit more separation between your sounds, and a little bit more clarity on all of your sounds, and a little less kind of mid-range bloat that happens with that compression stuff. So other than that, then the mix thing there, which is really only a couple of things, this is good. It's got really good energy, and it's fun. It's upbeat, and it's definitely got a like a solid vibe to it. Like it knows what it is. You know what I mean? It's good. I like it. Roku says, there's some phasing issues I noticed when all the synths were building up. Don't know if that was intentional or not, but it seemed a little washed out. The room of things feels a little bit weird. Saws felt a little bright. These are comments from the chat. Epic saws, quickest way to a girl's heart. There you go. Yeah, Hard House. Yeah, everyone is loving. Rockhound, thank you for the kind words, and absolutely anytime. Well, I'm glad the doctor said the ears are healthy, Central. It sucks that you're still dealing with the tinnitus. Yeah, this is just a solid one, Visor. Absolutely finish this one. Central, you are up next. 28 new messages. Let's see here. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, we'll leave it open for just a little bit longer. Central says, very loud sound design practice. It's called fucking dickhead. Here we go. Watch your ears.
snap like.
Nice release. Two very unexpected releases. This is great. I kind of want this valley floor to be lower. I kind of want that ambience to be a little bit lower. I think it's the lufs. I think it's just the loudness on this one. But regardless, it'd be great if that dropped down just a little bit lower, so it was a little bit more of a, not just a release, but almost like a sudden fall. You know what I mean? Like when you step for the step that's there and it's not really there at the bottom of your stairs, and you're like, whoa, and you almost fall because you're like down a whole nother step and you weren't ready for that. It would feel great as an ending. Short Jab, welcome in. Happy Friday to you. I like the ending closeout as well. That sub is loud. Danger Will Robinson on that sub, though. I would roll that up a fair measure on the hertz. If you're going to be twisting and turning with those acrobatics down there, there's like physical harm that can be done to systems. Really fun sound design, as per your usual. Really nice modulation work. Good stopping points. Big fan. This is not EP stuff then, correct? Is that right? Roku says, be careful with your sub. Central one, it might rip a cone. I'm not joking. Yep. Yeah. This is just play. Cool. Yeah, this is fun. This is fun. I bet Roku's probably DMing you right now. Baby Rage, you're up. Ooh, the fade in.
Welcome.
Mm. Mm. All right, so the fade in going into that filter play, really cool, very dreamy intro, really nice, very welcoming. I think someone said I feel welcome. Yeah, this is the right way to say that. I feel like I want just a little push of air on that transition, like just a tiny little noise riser, like a whoosh, right, like kind of layered right in the middle of all of that, volume wise. That's a really nice little intro. 55 seconds. This is great. I want the vocals more on top. I want the vocals more on top at 108 as well. Kick is a bit dominant with the subs. Love the play with the knobs. Really like the siren sample in there. It sounded really legit. Just general notes about the mix. I think I would try to arrive at your loudness through saturation. On this one, a little less through compression, limiting, and just general gain addition. I think it would help get everything heard in a way without feeling like you need to rely upon increased loudness, like increased volume. I think that presence is really what needs to be kind of the focus here in regards to getting things heard, right? So the right kind of saturation on those vocals, for instance, going to generate some more harmonics. You're going to have a better opportunity for your ears to pick up on those vibrations in the mix. If the kick was down just a touch and roll up the subs on that kick just a touch, all of a sudden things towards the center of the mix start to clear up as well, because you've got a little bit more energy that could be spent on reproducing those frequencies. Yeah, just tiny little things. Tiny little changes in your approach to this are going to make a really big difference in regards to like power, energy, clarity, balance in the mix. Just a little aside, something like the sirens, they could be moved, actively moved in the mix. Just put some pan automation on there, right, and move them like I don't know, maybe from like 20 to one side to 20 on the other side. Not hard panning, not fast, nothing like that. Just something that just kind of moves it a little bit in the mix. It gives the entire thing just a little bit more dimension and change over time, and that's going to, pique our ears, which means we're going to tune in a little bit more to what's happening, which is in turn going to create a little bit more definition for us as well. So anything that can kind of help focus things for the listener, I think, is really all that this is missing. Is really good arrangement, solid palette. Yeah, love the knob play. Do be careful about using any resonance on your filter sweeps as you go down low in frequency. It's good. It's good. Oh man, these comments today. Roku saying fantastic atmosphere. Watch the subs as well. That bass just needs a bit more saturation, not sub, and even more precise on your vocal processing. I can see what you're going for. You are close, but not there yet. Try to process your vocal at a very, very quiet volume. You'll find that it needs real quick then. Yeah, this is true. This is true. You listen to it at a low volume, you'll hear where it is disappearing, and that helps you figure out how to make it better. Martin. I'm going to close this queue. This is your last chance. Last chance to get something in. Martin is up. One's called ID. I say this, and now there's nice little swelling happening in those pads. This is good. I like the progression. I like the movement that you've got in there. Like I was really craving movement as soon as the vibe was kind of explained, right, in the intro. Love the movement. I think at a couple points it would be cool to bring in a second percussion line element of some kind. I think it'd be kind of phenomenal, really, just to have like this deeper groove experience, right? With even if it's just something that kind of claps back every once in a while. I think it'd feel really nice to get that depth and the separation in um, range too. So if the second one could be up, you know, in register, just some clicky clacky stuff maybe at 201. I feel like this melodic synth, there's a couple of spots where I hear like it could like be shot off with some little delay sprays and maybe their pitch affected, right? Um, yeah, this whole track just screams movement to me. So if there were going to be further embellishments with something, I kind of feel like it's very much in like the secondary ear candy range. It's not really new sounds. It's more new outcomes derived from the same sounds, right? Little delays and the delay tails are pitch shifted or fairly decent reverb boom and then that gets saturated or whatever. Just tiny little things because I really love the palette that you've developed. I'm not sure that I want more things to distract me from it. Just more ways in which I can enjoy it. Really, really solid. Love hearing your stuff in a raw state, by the way. Um, Original vocals coming soon. Nice. That will definitely fill out. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Martin Magic. Martin Magic delays, yes. Super smooth, super smooth. Um, Good stuff, dude. Good stuff. Bing Bong McGee, you are up. Whoa, look at this art. Ooh. This one is called There It Is, version 1, work in progress, rough creative idea. I started the other night, felt like I may have muddied some sections a bit and want to fix those. It's a temporary title for the song, too. Cool. Well, let's listen to this thing. Ping Pong McGee says, only been playing with FL for 8 months and kind of newish to music. Man, this one is really unique. It's cool. It's kind of hypnotic. I found myself really like paying attention because I was very interested in knowing what little sound was going to come out of this next. Um, the kick is such a big part of it, and I kind of feel like you have room to play with how it is affected in the mix over time. Um, and I think maybe you should play more with it. The other thing I would mention about the kick is the tuning of it. It feels like it's maybe just a little high, but if there was like if the delay like the little ghost note that's chasing it throughout, if that's like pitch shifted down a step or two, it might be kind of cool. Like kind of feel a little bit more heartbeat-ish, or maybe if just the delayed signal comes down a little bit, so just the perceived loudness difference between the two, something that could create just a little bit more dynamic flux in that kick line as it's running through the track persistently, I think would feel really good. Um, Other than that, I think it's mostly just like really basic mix stuff. There's a little bit more separation that you can find between the individual sounds by wrangling in the frequencies, mostly the low frequencies, a little bit of mid frequency on the individual sounds. So, what you can roll up on some of your sounds, try to roll up and save a little bit of that energy for, more clarity in your mix instead of boominess. Um, the other thing is that you've got a pretty nice, atmosphere ambience that you're playing or that you've developed, and you could be playing with that as well. You can saturate it in different ways and filter it in different ways and make it move. And if you do these things in a nice subtle way, it would add a great amount of um, perceived depth and dimension, because those things would slowly be changing over time, and there would be greater separation from the main players in the mix and the resulting ambience. So, a couple things to consider there. Um, Really cool start. This is good. Time to do some tensions. Sounds good, Martin. You are welcome, Bing Bong McGee. I hope it resonates with you. Sounds good, Martin. Put an LFO on the delay so I could mess with it for a bit. Yeah, for the kick. Yeah, like that. Loving the very strong but muted minimal drum groove. Yep. Roku says, other than cutting a little bit of the low end on this track, I wouldn't touch a thing. It's the weirdness that makes this mix super fresh. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just a couple little EQ kind of things, and it's good. It's good stuff. Cardio party. Liv, let's see what you're up to today. All right, Liv is saying, little tune I did this past week in between finals. How was school, by the way? Mix doesn't feel as upfront as I'd like. Spoken bits are by a friend of mine. Also, I've now belligerently not added any FX stuff to this tune. There's this part of me that thinks FX are unnecessary a lot of the time. Maybe I'm just tired of hearing risers in every goddamn song I listen to, but that part of me is getting the better of me at the moment on this tune. All right, this one's called Yearn. Let's check it.
I wish I could go back in time to let you know how important you were in making me feel loved, in making me feel like I belong in a time where I kind of felt like drowning. I've grown. I never really gave you the right goodbye that you deserved. I'm sorry. I love you. And I guess that's the hard part, is knowing that I miss that time. You know? I can't go back. I'm sorry.
Oh, Liv, this is good. Um, you know, the dialogue from your friend is this track. It's really good. And I think that the aversion to effects on this one isn't unfounded or unreasonable. I think that there's a genuineness to there's a transparency, a rawness to the subject matter at hand, and covering that up, embellishing it, distracting from it is um perhaps just not even a good choice. You know what I mean? And I think that you're also right about um uh risers and everything, forcing the energy, building creating the buildups just so you can take them down and all of that. It can be uh a bit exhausting and formulaic for sure. So I think that unless those things really have a place in the arc that you're developing, they shouldn't even be considered. So I don't know. I think your head is just fine on this one. I think the sample, though, the running dialogue, I think it needs to be um, the main hero in this track. I'm not sure that anything else should touch that presence level in the track. So when it's there, it's not competed with. Just really love the smooth feels of this one, like super liquid, hollow, groovy, loungy, like all at once. It's all super simple. And then you got like this. I'm not even sure what this was, honestly. I didn't want to try and figure it out. It was just nice and fun. Um, I do think that the dialogue can be played with a bit, though, not as a distraction, but as more making it more of a core component of the track itself. So it's not actually affecting the sound like in a distracting way. It's affecting the sound in a more integrating way, if you will. And that, of course, would put more of a spotlight on it, right? Because people will start to sing along with it if you put it into something that is predictable. So when you start to repeat dialogue, it becomes a groove, and all of a sudden people are like bopping out to it, right? And when you're saying something like, I can't go back, 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 that's like you're kind of chanting through this thing and it starts to hit you. I think it would be a good choice. Okay, so at 225, that little I'm sorry bit. Like it'd be cool just to come to like a full stop for just a second, a little reversal in there, right? Like give it the gravity or give it the opportunity. How do I say this? Give us the opportunity to feel the gravity of that moment, right? Yeah. Anyway, it's friend stuff. It deserves that space. Anyway, 250, maybe a small amount of like classic cardio party filter play before the outro there. Something. Glockenspiel. Love it. Super liquid, loungy, groovy, fun time record, says Javar. That's great. I know you do love some filter play. That's great. Let's see what everyone else is saying. Hmm. Hmm. This is such a healthy thing. No, still squarely in D&B. This was just a tune outside of the world of the album, which I've been living in this whole second half of the year. It's good to take little breaks, huh? Oh my gosh, you guys, I am so excited to start our new community challenges. I am so pumped for this. There are so many little lines of like subtext that will run through these challenges. They will be never ending. They will be firing off constantly, and we will have 2 channels in our Discord dedicated to this ongoing effort. And it's just going to be so much fun, and it's going to be a good challenge. And all of us, I think, are going to really wholly engage with this in a pretty unique way. And I'm really, really stoked about that. Really, really stoked about that. If you can't tell, I'm stoked about that. I'm not sure what is falling in my room, but I'm hearing stuff fall. I don't know what it is. Yes, the monthly challenges are coming back, but it's not going to be anything like it was. It's just not. It could have been an earthquake. It could have been an earthquake, yes. Oh yeah, Saf, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Tremties, you are up next. Liv, do you want these in a thread, or are you good? Roku, it was you. Thank you for the grope, by the way, while you were here. Yes, please, sir. Certainly. Cool. Okay, so let's do trem ties. Yay, new trem. Trem tie says, I feel like this would go hard in Turkey. This one's called Eastern Thing. Dude, this is fun. Um, the way that it starts is so abrupt, and all of a sudden you're in this world. I just want to start this again really quick. It's like you are here. Stand up and take notice. You are here. This is great. I feel like this is from a soundtrack to a movie that I have to see because there's obviously stuff happening on the screen that I cannot see right now. It's like some kind of action film, maybe? Mm. Yeah, it is kind of like spy music boss battle. Martin says lit. 400 Asnadel, welcome in. Happy Friday to you. People are loving this one, Trem. Oh man. Yeah, this is dude. Uh intro stabs. The flute. Yeah, dude, I feel like you're always bringing something totally left to center. This one really caught me off guard. I don't even know what to say about this one right now. It was like kilter, off kilter, off kilter, kilter. What is kilter? I feel like we say off kilter. Anybody give me the definition of kilter? What does it mean? In the middle, maybe? Off center is the same. Yeah, right. So is kilter center? What is kilter? I feel like at some point in time, someone killed off kilter in our language, but kept off kilter. And all of us adopted off kilter as common nomenclature, and we're like never questioning what kilter actually is. Anyone ever stop to think about this? Asnadel, you are up. It's these things that we have to sit here and think about on Fridays. What the hell is kilter? Is Chris wearing any pants? Is he ever going to hit play on the next song? You know what I mean? This one's called 949 Bounce With Me, version 3. Nice art, by the way. Well, that was fun. Holy hell. I mean, seriously, if you're going to follow a Tremtize track, you make it bounce, right? This was fun. This was good. I don't really want things to change in this. Trem says, you make this public track right now, or else please help me. Oh, shoot. Trem Ties is slipping into a state of crisis over here. Can you help him? Man. Bing bong McGee. You are correct. Commander Roku Sai says, proper glitch hop. Man. E-Smalls Beats saying, this is sick. Right, Free Mango time? Right? We're using terms we don't even know where they come from. It's like 2022. That's a very dangerous thing to be doing, right? Yeah. I bet this one was so much fun to make. Bing Bong McGee, you just said simply fire. It was great. And it was, yep, some good stuff right there. Very accurate. Very accurate. This is, yeah, please, just more. Can we get more of this one? Can you just do that again? We'll meet back here on Friday next week and just bring more. It's like a small bag of them. Give you like $40. Not sure. Man, you know what? One of these days, I'm going to beat Siri. And then she's not going to think that she's better than me all the time. Yeah, definitely make more of this. This is a lot of fun. How long did it take you to make this track? And what are you working in? What's the DAW that you use? Just kind of curious. I'm going to paint a mental image of what this track looks like in my mind. With those challenge streams be on Fridays too, by the way. Okay, so here's the nice thing about our community challenges is that it's going to be kind of non-stop action. I want to dedicate a little bit of time in each stream to listening to what people are submitting because everything's going to be on an ongoing basis. It's not going to be what it once was at all. It's going to be very different this time. You know, we got to change it up every couple of years. We got to change things and keep it all fresh so we're all having a lot of fun with it. I'm not going to give you guys any hints until I start posting the stuff. The stuff starts to get posted next week. So we're going to start hearing from each other again in new ways. And hopefully it's going to coincide with a little bit of extra downtime for you guys with the holidays coming and whatnot. Y'all being inside, it being winter and all. So I'm hoping that it's really good timing for all of this. That said, you're going to have to wait to see what happens. The track came together in 5 hours. And you're in Ableton. Well, there you go. Siri knows better. That's just fact. I'm interested. Makes me feel like we have to work off of each other's submissions. Trumtai says, that's why I ride my inspiration, because my music sounds like how I feel when I'm making it, because I just go with the flow. Yeah, exactly. This is why we can feel your music, homie. All right. This one is called Pipe and Put. Chill Breaks? Not sure. Okay, this one, honestly, it's the highs and the lows. Like, there's a couple things to wrangle on the highs and the lows. Your stopping points on pretty much everything is just ace throughout this entire thing. There's a little resonance stuff. There's a tiny little peaky resonance bit here, right in here. Here towards the end, right there, you can hear it. There's some right over here. So there's a couple of stopping points that you can kind of wrangle in a little bit more. There's some low end that needs to be rolled up a little bit. You don't need quite as many frequencies present in your sub, and you don't actually need quite as much presence in the sub in a few different places as well. And as soon as you start to shore that up, everything really starts to pop, so you won't feel like you're going to need to drive the loudness in this thing, which means you're going to be able to back off some of that loudness that's coming through the compression and limiting in your mixing. And then everything's going to feel really, really lush instead of kind of edgy, right? Even when it's super saturated and fuzzy, it's going to feel lush. And I think that should be kind of the goal for this one. Really, really dig the ARP intro. The vibes are just awesome. The glitches are awesome. I feel like these drums deserve their own brand new like genre categorization. I think we should call them chunk-a-fuzz or something. The textures are just really, really pleasing all the way through. Okay, so the mid-highs and the highs, just a little bit pushed on the vocals. I love the reverb channel on it, though. I love the breathiness of it. I think that just needs to stay as is. So just a little bit of EQ work there. Responsive EQ or multiband compression would work really well for you, so you can still get just as much push and give from all of the other parts of the vocal performance, except for those couple little peaks that are really driving really the only couple of things that are not as satisfying as the rest of the mix. The subs in general, I think they just come up like 15, 20 hertz from where they are. You just don't need as much of the rumble as you do the warmth. So just get rid of the warbliness and keep the warmth. Really great transition at 248, by the way. And just as a general comment, I feel like this is the kind of original decision making that so many people wish they had more immediate access to. Lots and lots and lots of good choices in this one. And I say choices because, we all we're developing a palette, we're making songs, we're putting our notes in to where we want them. We start to make, all of these different maneuvers with our mixing, and each one of these are fairly decisive moments and like how everything is going to go from that period on, or from that point on. So just really good sets of choices. Your overall aesthetic and ethos is really, really strong and well defined, and you very much leaned into what you wanted. Besides the highs and the lows, the other thing that I would mention is the overall dynamic range. And I think that once you start to back off of the limiting compression loudness, you lean a little bit more into just tightening things up with your EQ, that you might see a little bit more of that develop. But do try to pick a couple of spots where you can go into just a little bit less. Less loudness, less fullness. Just simple volume automation is a really easy way to achieve this without touching your arrangement at all, and just kind of reprioritize the delivery of a few things at a few key moments. And next thing you know, you start to look at your waveform and you've got a couple of spots that it dips down kind of low. And the moments after those really, really hit. So for what it's worth, it's really, really good all the way around. It's not sure is saying, OhmLab, I'll see what I can do with the sub main synth are all the same patch channel. Oh, actually, that kind of stuff is quite easy. The multiband compression and the responsive EQ can handle that kind of stuff, because you're going to change, you're going to be changing or affecting the sound when you need to. That makes sense. Yeah, anything that falls more on the chill side of the spectrum, always question why you're pushing something. I think it's a really good, healthy thing to do. Because your answer when you ask yourself, why am I pushing this with your distortion, for instance, is going to be because it feels good, right? Because I'm leaning into the aesthetic. But when it comes to something as simple as, well, wait, why am I making this one louder? Right? You're making chill music, which means you want like the outcome should be chill, even if the aesthetic isn't necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Um, so definitely, it's hard not to get those things conflated in the moment, but there we go. Um, oh, Rokusai has a masterclass lesson. Don't use a limiter. Get your track mixed to a stellar level without any, and then put the limiter on. Yeah, yeah. You know, it's like deep chord, right? Work for days, days on your drones, basically. And then in the last 5 minutes before you bounce, put a kick in there. Oh, there you go. If I don't use a limiter, then my project sits at around neg 24 dB. Now that is an opportunity. Boom. That is an opportunity. That is where you can start to play with saturation. That is an awesome spot. That neg 24, it's a sweet spot. It's a sweet spot. And also, neg 24, like that's a mix. Like all you got to do is master it from that point forward. You know what I mean? There you go. Rokusai. E-Smalls Beats, you up? This one is called Moosh and Twist, All of a Sudden Remix. Built a beat around an acapella. Really appreciate any feedback. I timed up my remix that I made with the visuals from the original video and thought it came out dope. Sweet. Hey, stop spell correcting me, Siri. Come on. All right, let's do this.
You're killing me, Small.
All of a sudden, yeah, all of a sudden, man, you know we ain't blood, so why you be calling me cousin? Man, I'm not your cousin. Even Steven can see me, it's easy, no wonder we buzzing. When they talking the realest, you never come up in discussion. I'm like, where the cash at? You know, shorty ass fat. I need 25 bands in a Louis backpack. Smoking on that Kobe Bryant, cause I never passed that. And you always tryna chill, but can never match that. Damn, growing pains at a mall talking. Everybody in the mall, buddy. Big business, no small talking. Got a bag on me like I'm dog walking. They ain't do it, but they made a case. He tried to kill it, but they made him wait. Getting to it like it's 01, man, I'm LA Reid with a baby face. 215 till I DIE. Bad bitch need a CID. King shit like TIP. 20 bands from the VIP. But the bank closed, yeah, it's hella empty. We been down since elementary. Fuck boys wanna bet against me. I don't know, man, it kinda tempt me. Every time I gotta catch the vibe. Down for the squad and we set the ride. Got a small team, no extra guys. I ain't getting high, got checks to sign. I feel too close to be next in line. The clock on the wall saying press for time. Tryna make cash for the team by the crash on the scene like a homie try to Texas drive. I'm in a foreign whip, doggy European. Talk to me like I'm a human being. I'm in a crew that they would kill to be in. Your man's a bitch for never wanna be in. I heard my song all on ESPN. Moms called me, she was fucking tweaking. In the hills, I can't feel my face, so come get acquainted with the fucking weekend. Me and my brother just sped up the line. I'm on a mission for bread and the guac. Bitches in love with the threads that I caught, but I'm coming off top like some head that I got. I be on a beat straight spazzing, flow fantastic. I was in the back of the class for the pad that I had on my raps and playing in practice, trying to fit a gap like an ad-lib. Whoa, take a picture with a code. I go get that shit develop. You can see they jealous, hating on me, nothing they could tell us. Singing the music is medicine, use it as remedy. I can feel it, I'm loving the melody. I don't fuck when I want on my enemies, but you not my friend. I pretend to be. Please don't pretend to be. Yeah.
All right. Fun tag, by the way. I like it. Love the little synth bloops. I think this minimal palette of sounds that you've selected and the arrangement style, it deserves tasty saturation, a little bit of delay, and some reverb that you can kind of play around with. Or I mean, play around in, rather. Nice transition, very tasteful, very well timed. the whole thing feels very not restrained, but a little buttoned up. So if there were tiny little delay sprays, like taking the last note of the bar of some of these little riffs of those little synth bloops, right? And there's just a delay, like a 16th note delay on it, like ba, 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 right? And you start to get a few of those going out there. Now all of a sudden you've got some kind of like an ambience, like an atmosphere that's starting to bubble up, right? And that would really kind of reinforce that kind of bubbly, bloopy feeling of the synths that you've already got. And now that would really vibe with the meter and rhythm of the lyrics, right? So I think you can find a little bit more um, play, like explore and give a little bit more feeling of play. And you don't really have to add anything to the arrangement. Like I was saying a few tracks ago, this isn't about adding something wholly new to your mix here. It's really about embellishing upon what you already have present in the mix. And then just in general, like I said, tasty saturation. Finish this whole mix with some tasty saturation so it all comes up. There are no rules with hip hop, right? Especially with remixing. We want to keep the vocals as the main attraction here, but it is a remix. So it is okay to get, a couple of sounds in your mix really up nice and tight next to the vocal level. So give yourself a little bit of liberty there. This is good stuff. You are welcome. This is good stuff. Rokusai says, Richard and I are still in the writing process, but this is for a 2-track EP. Lots of unbalanced levels yet, but most of the sounds we are happy with, mostly just focusing on arrangement and aggression. Oh, this is going to be good. Eric is here. Whew, that one woke up Eric. Wait for You guys make such a good team. That was really good stuff, dude. That's good. That made me feel good. Feeling more at peace now. It's good stuff. Thank you, Roku. When is this 2-track EP going to be coming out? Do you know? Is this the first? Plate, you are up next. Are you here right now, Plate? So we did not get to play your track last week. I know it came in late, but still, we still didn't get to play it. We went like over an hour over last Friday too, and we still had a couple. All right, I'm not seeing Plate response, so we're going to listen to this one. To Tara Peak, Aether, Kijo, Plate remix. All right, I'm interested. Let's see. Plate may actually just be tuning in via the VOD. They were here earlier, though. Nice offer for Roku Sai in the chat here. This is really something, Plate. You know, your tracks are so flippin' satisfying all the time. I don't really want to pick this one apart. This is it's just so really, really nice. I would say if you're looking for something that you can like focus on for further mastery, I would say isolation of sounds and I mean, they're already great, especially with this minimal palette. But the really nice thing about maintaining complete control over what frequencies are being disclosed is that you could choose when to disclose more, if there is more to disclose. And this is one of those tracks where it would be kind of cool to hear one of the sounds being presented one way again and again and again throughout the track. Maybe it's the clunky blocks for the snare or whatever, right? And then towards the very end of the track, you reveal to us that there's this other part of that sound. You know what I mean? Something like that would be something that you could work on. But in general, I would say if there's one thing, it would probably be EQ stuff. And just further isolating things so you can then create separation from that delivery point to whatever you're going to go play with later. Aside from that, I don't think I would really want you to play with this in any way. It's not sure. See, now this is the most lovely thing about community, right? Even if we're sitting there thinking, wow, yeah, this is great, someone in the community can say something that kind of sticks in your head for a while, and then the curiosity is piqued, and then you got to go find out, and you go make a little change, and all of a sudden you're thinking or experiencing your stuff a little bit differently. It's probably because it's good music. Not sure. Kwame Brown. Kwame. I want to know, how are the lessons with Paul going? By the way, if you are not currently subscribed to or watching Evans the Bard on chat, you should go do that because he's absolutely worth your time. He's a fantastic human being. Kwame, I hope you're getting on well with him. Yeah, I'm excited to hear Kwame's too. Every Friday, I'm like, man, Kwame needs to get here. Alec and Abstricted One, I see you guys. We will get to yours. So Abstricted and Mango, we got you. Kwame, let's roll. Piano lessons are going well. Need to up the practice time. Isn't that always the case? This is why I don't wear pants on Fridays. Thank you, Kwame. Yeah, Kwame. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You got Heidi again, Kwame. So nice, so chill, right? Right? Love the gentle vibes. Love the detune stuff, homie. These are really, really good sounds. It's the like just the kind of warbly, uh, you know, affect just fits. Volume mix. If the drums come down just a touch and the guitar up just a smidge, and they got a little bit more isolated, right? So you would pan the individual characters on the drum kit just a bit more than they already are, and the guitar just a little bit further out and up like 2 dB. And then you prioritize the detuned elements whenever they come into the mix, and you bring the other things down just a little bit. Now all of a sudden, you've got something that's naturally like reoccurring in the arrangement that's forcing this kind of change in the dynamic relationship between everything. And that kind of movement is probably going to open up the mix a little bit more and inspire a couple of other changes inside of you. So, or inspire you to make other changes in the mix, or maybe it'll inspire changes inside of you. I don't know. Anyway, do that and see what you feel. A, B the two, and see what you're thinking. Just aside from that, a couple of really long form, gentle, ear candy maneuvers would be good. Nothing sharp or dramatic or sudden, more like really long and gentle noise swells that just, they never really peak out. It's just like more of like an undercurrent kind of a thing, right? Um, Little things like that. It would also be kind of cool if there was just every once in a while like a little reversal, right? Like you got a little open hi-hat sizzle here, a little reversed hi-hat there, just very subtly placed, not begging for attention, but absolutely grabbing attention. You know what I mean? Super tasteful. Anyway. It is Friday. This is Friday chat over here. Alec, your mango time. You're up. Kwame, you sexy beast, that was amazing. Needs more salt. Great notes. Roku says, I bet if you roll off the subs from all your tracks more, and especially your bass, your track will feel less pressed. So cut off the unneeded low end with a smooth 12 dB per octave filter. Not sure if you have any good ones like Moog or something more analog to do with, then by all means, since you're using Fab Filter stuff, I recommend doing it with the Simplon. Boom, there you go. Keep it simple. Less is more. Less things to fix later. Kwame, thank you. All right, free mango. Let's do this. This is Bossa Nova mode. Little Bossa Nova sketch to play us out, he says. Yeah. It's a great painting. What kind of paint? This is fun. This is fun. If you're looking for a way to improve upon this one, I would bring the two main elements in the mix into greater alignment. The guitar is kind of distant, highly reverberated. The perks are very upfront, kind of dry. Little compromise between those two. Put the drums into a nice space. Make it sound a little bit more like a shared performance. Acrylic, yeah. I could kind of tell with that yellow in there. Hey. Oh, yeah, speaking of Bob Ross. Happy little accidents. Let's see what the random page is today. Squirrel! Pretty picture. There is immense joy in just watching all the little creatures in nature. Oh, thanks, Bob. That's a nice reminder. It's the picture from Bob today. That's nice. So go look at nature. If you're feeling boxed in, withdrawn, confused, writer's block, whatever. Go sit in nature. What I just learned. All right, so let's see what you're saying here. Yes, I want to make the recording to be more vintage sounding. Yeah, so what you really need to do then is give the if you've got access to everything unprocessed, right, like the guitar, I would take off the reverb and any EQ or whatever you've got on there, and start again with the same kind of processing on both things. And if you're wanting it to sound vintage, the first thing you do should be to constrain the frequency output of both tracks, the drums and the guitar. So that way we're only hearing the frequencies that we would have heard in the era that you're going for. And then the next thing is to give these things some shared processing so they have a similar appeal to them. And that's going to put them in lockstep with one another, sonically speaking, right? Aesthetically speaking, you can start to dial in just how much reverb you want, just how warm you want it to be, etc. But if you start from the same points in processing with both of them, they should feel like they belong together in the end. Where's my martini shaker? Says Javar. I'll take one too. Abstracted one. Yes, indeed. You are up next. Heidi says, little creatures will teach you. Watch what they are doing and think about as a mirror to yourself. It's mind-blowing how nature interacts with us from a metaphysical background. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think listening to some references, like it's always a big help. And definitely listen to the really, to a really broad range of bossa nova too, so you can start to kind of hone in on what are the different characteristics of the tracks that you're more drawn to, and then identify how yours sounds and feels in comparison. Speak it out loud, put words to it, close the door to get some privacy if you need to, but put this stuff into words, because then it's going to be easy for you to figure out what the distance between those two things are, right? It'll be easier for you if you just vocalize exactly what the differences you're hearing between your guitar and their guitar, for instance. And as soon as you hear yourself speak those words out loud, you'll know exactly what tool you need to reach for, whether it be reverb or EQ or something. Cardio says, I've always thought nature is deadly to us because we're deadly to it. Like, if we all stopped fighting, it would confuse the fuck out of all the animals. Oh, I feel like we got to see a bit of it during the pandemic, honestly. And I feel like the large majority of things that happened in that time in regards to nature was good. And then we stopped doing all of the stuff that we stopped doing. Mm. So there you go. This right here, what Roku is saying is really on point. No, it's about perceiving the bass, not even decibels. If you feel it, it's good. So roll off until you don't feel it anymore. Then back off a bit. That's the way to do it. It is. It's a really good way to find your stopping points and just A/B test the stuff. Science, right? Give yourself to hear the comparison and make like critical judgments of them at a later point in time. So in other words, bounce these two and then walk away from this for the weekend and listen to it in a different place, like on a different system. Just kind of see how your mind and body reacts to it. Abstricted one, you are up. This one's called Spore. I like it, and I love this mushroom art, by the way. Those squirrels will take you out. Ooh, I like this. Dude, abstracted one. This one is great. It's fun. I like the what's the right word? I guess the kind of playfulness of the synth up top. I like the short stop snare as well. I'm kind of wondering what it would sound like if it was stopped even shorter than it is right now. Like if you were to take the decay down by like another 15 to 20% of its total length and see. Or maybe kind of round robin between a couple of different decays. I don't know. I think it would be kind of satisfying to hear an even shorter snare in there. Also, it's a little dry, so maybe just a little bit of reverb on it. At 101, I think I'd probably drop the bass here just a bit and hear that top synth with less competition. I'm not sure if it's just the timbre of the bass or if there's actually some stuff that you can scoop out there to help lessen the competition, but part of it might be the width. But I do like the kind of sprawling nature of the delayed synth up top. Let's see what everyone else is saying. I killed a lot of reverb from version 2 because it was washing out the mix. I'll blend it back in. Yeah, so make sure that when you do this, that the reverb is not actually on the track that the synth is on that you're bussing to the reverb, and then I would EQ out any of the lows in the reverb so that wash doesn't become anything that builds up around the mids or anything, or obfuscates any of the low. That's what I would do. And also, one more thing to play with, since you're doing this lovely delay stuff, I would do that on a send as well. I would do that on a parallel channel as well. And here's why, because it's a really nice sound. This is a track that's 2.5 minutes long. That sound is in there for the bulk of it. You can play more, right? And just simply affecting the tails of the delayed signal is enough for a track like this. Like, it is enough added interest in ear candy to really carry it to the end. So that's what I would do. I would really like encourage you to play with like maybe 2 simple things. Maybe like for the first half of the song, there's some subtle pitch shifting happening on all of the delay tails. And then maybe for like the second half of the song, it's more of like a degradation thing, right? Like it becomes a little bit more warbly and starts to break down towards the end or something. But it's just on the delay tails, right? So all of the initial notes are still ringing very true in the mix. So things become a little bit more heady as you get through your arrangement. That makes sense. Let's see what folks are saying. Yeah. Oh, nice. You're trying to redo your whole catalog. Had 200 plus poorly mixed good ideas. So I'm taking the good ideas and putting them together as I work on mixing. This is a really, really good thing. This is a really good thing. And I wish more people would do this. Is just going back and understanding what kind of value every single idea has. It has nothing to do with when you came up with the idea. You can always go back and massage things with your current skill and knowledge levels. Those ideas, though, are like little moments of time, you know? They shouldn't be so easily dismissed. Good on you. It's awesome. It's good stuff. Wadix, let's do this. Yeah, you were just in time. All right, what was your message here? Love some feedback, please. It's been 2 years since my last production. Just got back into it. Okay, cool. What's your DAW? It's been over a year since I made my last track, so go easy on me. Thanks for your time about this kind of heavy. That's my thing. Cool. FL, cool. All right, here we go. So, LUFS. You don't need to push the loudness as much. All of the energy is there, and if people want to hear it more, they can turn it up. But what doesn't do well is stuff just running into a brick wall. So if you keep that current loudness, then it gets turned down by the streaming services. So just something to consider. The other thing is I like the gating. I would challenge you to find two ways in which you could vary the gating across the various elements that are being stuttered over time. I would find like maybe one of them isn't fully chopped, right? Maybe there's the bottom 20% of the sound still there, but in those moments, it's augmented, right? It's changed from what it is in the other moments. It could also just be that the gating is happening at two different rates across two different sets of elements, right? So kind of staggering parameters or staggering timing, grouping. Find two ways to vary that just a little bit, and then find a satisfying way to incorporate the changes that you do like. The reason why I say that is because although this buildup brings energy, it's not actually increasing interest at the same time. So I just want to go back to this one spot here. Okay, so there's 20 seconds there, give or take, that could have more change over time in more lanes. Right now, the same thing is happening to all of the things. So it's kind of the theme of my feedback right now is find ways to create separation between the individual elements of the mix. And when you do that, you're going to start to reveal more interest. And as soon as you start to engage with that interest, it's going to spark your inspiration and you're going to start putting in like original ideas in there. And that's the sauce, right? Like that's the thing that's going to make this thing go somewhere from this point. Otherwise, I think all this stuff is good. I think that the sound design work is pretty good. You're using, what did you say, Splice, FL, Serum is Splice. Okay, yeah. So one thing you can back off of the mix on the multiband compressor instead of Serum just a little bit, and it'll take just a little bit of the grading kind of character of that synth down just a little bit, and give yourself the opportunity to expose the full potential of that sound instead of sticking with the full potential of that sound the entire time. So in other words, boom, you blast us in the face with the sound. It's great. Now bring that down with a filter or something like that. Bring it back up at the next most impactful moment. So now the things are starting to surge and come to life a little bit, and then things start to hit more emotionally. And again, as soon as you start to engage with your stuff that way, the inspiration kicks in and you start making these decisions based upon what you just experienced, and now it's all discovery, right? So then like from that point forward, it's all organic. So that is exactly the direction that I would point you in right now. It's been a year since you've done this. So what I would do is just riff on this for a while, like maybe even copy over the track a couple times in your arrangement window, or set up variations. I'm not sure exactly how FL handles this, but if there's a way to have variations, do it. Try remixing your track a couple of times, and just remember that like you've already done the intentional stuff, and now you just have to really engage with the playful side of stuff and twist some knobs in real time. And as soon as, yeah, like I keep saying, as soon as you start engaging with it in that way, it'll come. Let's see what other people are saying. We woke up Eric again, by the way. How you doing, Eric? After that drop, Heidi's feeling amazing. She was sleepy and now she feels like she's had 3 espressos. That's awesome. Oh man. Well, the getting better at mixing thing is something that's going to come while you practice your mixing. Like that's the only way to do it. So, all right. So you're saying I'm thinking of doing an acoustic drum fill instead of a reverb automation every now and then in the gates. Yeah. Very good choice. Yeah. Change it up. Absolutely. Play with it. The more things that are less predictable about about how this progresses over time, increases the opportunity for real discovery as people are listening to it, and it gives you the opportunity to engage with real discovery as you're producing it. And that, right, like, that's the thing to chase. That's it. That's the stuff. Scruffy Rico, dude, how you doing? We loved your stuff today. We got to hear you twice because Roku dropped a track too. Really good stuff, homie. Very, very good stuff. Rokusai says staggering your groove happens when every element gets their own timing. That creates aliveness within your buildups. It's good stuff. Yeah, no, big hard drops are awesome. Yeah, absolutely. All right, kitty cats, you guys are always just bringing the heat on Fridays. This was yet another really great set of music. I appreciate everything you guys are working on out there. I'm hearing more level ups again this week. We're going to do it again next week. And also, we're going to start some new community challenges up again next week. I know that we haven't done community challenges. It's been like 2 months now or something like that, maybe even a bit longer. And I miss them. So, guys, start to get ready to be inspired in creative and fun ways. And to be open-minded enough to chase it and see what comes out the other side with us. More on that next week. Until then, if you are currently subscribed to the channel, go pick up your 2 free sound packs. You have 2 free dialogue sample packs, hundreds of samples. I don't even know, 500, more than 500 samples probably between the 2 of them. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot of dialogue. Classic, cult classic stuff. Santa Conquers the Martians and Reefer Madness. Everything's been cleaned up and chopped properly. Thank you for restarting the stream for you. You're welcome. You are welcome. Always good to have you here, Heidi. Let's go raid someone. Let's go see who's up. Martin, if you're here, I hope you enjoy what I sent you. And everyone else, get to work. We have a whole nother Friday coming up next week. Who is here? I am Staria, Oisami Uni, Bauer, Autopilot. Where are we going today? What are we doing today? Right? Yay, happy Friday. Absolutely. Maybe we'll go see I Am Staria, because there's really no one in there with them right now. There's like 5 people in there. Let's go rate them. All right. I appreciate you guys. We're going to go listen to some DJ action. I'll see you on the other side. You have a fantastic weekend. Stay warm, healthy, inspired, all that jazz. Big love. Peace out.